Daniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. I anticipated the possibility of not doing a show today. I said, you know what? Maybe we'll just chill. Maybe we'll decide not to do the show today. Whatever, so on and so forth. But I changed my mind. Give me a second. I'm in here putting together monitors, all kind of stuff. Gotta make sure I'm moisturized out this. All right. So, happy Thanksgiving. It is November 24th, Thursday, 2022, year of our Lord. Shout out to B. B says, morning, y'all. Happy Turkey Day. Happy Turkey Day to you, B. How are you doing today, B? I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to rock with me for the Millionaire Morning Show. Again, I had to tap in and make sure. Oh, y'all like my new Apple Watch? This is the Apple Watch Ultra. It's pretty huge. It's pretty huge. I really like this watch. So I swapped out from the Series 7 to get the Ultra, and that's absolutely awesome. But I anticipated not live streaming today, or I left open the possibility of not live streaming, but I was already down here. And I didn't know how long the parade was going to last because my office is actually overlooking Woodward. Did you guys know that Woodward in Detroit was the first paved road in America? I bet you didn't know that. But I was watching a parade from the office, and I was chilling and getting some work done and all of that other type of stuff. And I said, you know what? For the people that's dedicated, for the people that actually want value, for the people that is tired of looking at their family and anticipate problems and trouble and issues, this is for you. So we're going to go ahead and kick it. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have good conversations. And we're going to continue to do what we do. Shout out to everybody that's off of work. Anton doesn't take days off. Today is the same day as every other day. Christmas, I'll be doing the same thing. I think Christmas is on a weekend. I think it's like a Saturday. So I probably won't be live streaming on Christmas just because I don't live stream on the Millionaire Morning Show on the weekends. But shout out to you guys. So what's happening, family? What's the word? Let me see what y'all got going on in the chat. I see my dog Aaron in there. Kojak. Aaron said no days off. Facts. Big Sug says you're consistent, Anton. That is a good trait. Facts. They say, you want a stew? Show the parade traffic. Parade is already over. They cleaning up Woodward right now. And I said, okay, well, then let's go ahead and have a good conversation and get our live stream popping. So shout out to everybody that rock out with me. I love y'all. I genuinely love y'all. Christopher Thomas says those Saturday shows used to be dope. They did, but Anton is taking more self-care. Ain't that what the women say? The women say that all the time. We have to do self-care. But the women usually say it when they leave an men and they get in a divorce. You know, the minute that I realized that self-care was necessary, I decided to go ahead and file for a divorce. Well, that's not necessarily the case in this instance. Anton is just making sure that I'm doing the thing that is best for me. And I'm reallocating my time and my resources towards things that actually add as much value. So my agenda today is to be down here in the studio. I got some stands and some holders, some mobile stands and holders in which my new TVs that's coming into the studio needs to be put together. So I'm taking care of that. I'm setting up for the live stream tomorrow night and this weekend. We got a lot of stuff going on in the studio, and so it's continuing to evolve into my grand vision for this place that I think that is going to be ideal for anybody trying to make sure that they're putting together a good product down here in Detroit. So shout out to all of you guys for continuing to rock with me and get it in. So let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Shout out to Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Link is in the description for y'all to be able to tap into that. We appreciate you, Teach. Also, in addition to that, shout out to everybody that's a part of the Bag Chasers. Link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And then make sure you follow me on all my social media, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I tweet pretty much every day at this point. Shout out to Elon Musk for cleaning up Twitter and continuing to go through that transformation. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. And in addition to that, if you have not tapped into the Patreon, a link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Got a new Charleston White video already uploaded, ready to drop as soon as we get off this live stream. So that's going to be absolutely awesome. Let's not start there. Let's start here. How many people know who this bald head guy is? How many people knows who this bald head guy is? This, for those of you that have been living under a rock, because he's been going viral probably over the last month, is CGA. Coach Greg Adams. Coach Greg Adams. I tapped into his live show last night, before me and Q started messing around and doing a Q&A and just having conversations based off of August Alsina. But I tapped into Coach's live stream yesterday, right? And he dropped the link in the chat. Coach, I watch his show occasionally when I have the opportunity to, and I think that he puts on a phenomenal show. I seen him mop the floor with Hafiz, and so I thought that was pretty interesting. But I tapped in, and as soon as I tapped in, Coach, literally the minute that I tapped in, he was saying something like, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat for anybody that wants to cam up and prove me wrong, right? And so I'm like, interesting. So I looked at the title, and the title says something like "Love Won't Last Forever." I forgot what the name of the title is. Let me try to figure it out. Hold on, give me a second, because I don't want to mess this up. Let's see. The name of the show was "Love Doesn't Last." Prove me wrong, love doesn't last. And so I said, interesting. And so I showed some love in the chat, and I was like, yep, shout out to Coach, whatever. And everybody was like, okay, Anton, cam up. And I was like, okay. He dropped the link in the chat. I said, all right, let me go ahead and cam up. And it was very, very interesting. So if you guys have not watched Free Agent Lifestyle, I believe that's the name of the channel. Let me double check one more time just to make sure. It's called Free Agent Lifestyle. After the show, make sure you tap into the Free Agent Lifestyle and go over there and check out me and Coach Greg Adams' interaction. I thought that it was pretty interesting. But what I've realized over time is that Coach and I we're more alike than we are different. We're much, much, much more alike in our views towards relationships, money, fuck, we practically drive the same sports car except for, well, he drives a 911. I don't believe in gas cars as much anymore. I got a Porsche Taycan. We both got bald heads. If I let my beard completely grow out and didn't get it touched up and all of that, then I would be probably as gray as he is. But shout out to Coach Greg Adams. I actually really love what he's doing. I think he gives great advice. I have not identified anything that I necessarily disagree with, but I always like civil discourse. So I'm always willing to cam up whenever, camming up is necessary and convenient. And I think that it was a very interesting and a good dialogue. I thought it was a phenomenal dialogue. So shout out to Coach Greg Adams. I got a question, though. Because, when we got off of our little interaction, and our interaction probably lasted anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, tops. When we got off of our interaction, he said a lot of these guys, these dating coaches and red pill space, these manosphere guys or whatever like that, he said that they were scared to face him. Is that true? Are you guys scared of Coach? Are you scared to have a dialogue? Listen, I don't blame some of these guys that don't live it and don't really, stand on what it is that they stand on, simply because of what happened to Hafiz. Oh, God blessed Hafiz, didn't he? He blessed Hafiz in that I did not get to do a full week because it was so much going on. You had takeoffs, passing, and you had a lot of different stuff going on. And so, I had some stuff lined up for Hafiz, and it was just going to go up from there. But after what happened to Hafiz, I'm just wondering, are you guys scared of Coach? I believe that guys are scared of me. I believe that it's a lot of guys that's scared to actually cam up and have a conversation, civil discourse with me, because I know that they know that it's not going to go well if that's what they decide to do. Either way, it was a really great interaction. So shout out to Coach Greg Adams. Make sure y'all run over there and subscribe to his channel, because I think that he gives a lot of really good information. He looks at it from a completely different standpoint because of his life's experiences and where he's at in his life versus where I'm at in my life. And I think that, again, we are more alike than we are. I don't even really know of anything that I can think of right now that we disagree with. But I do. I think that he's a great live streamer. I think that he does really well at what he does. Salute to him. Salute to CGA, Free Agent Lifestyle. Go and subscribe to his channel. I think that he's absolutely awesome. And what y'all also have to understand is that I think that more often than not, we need to understand that we are stronger together than we are apart. We need to be looking to build with the people that we closely align with. And if you align with them, don't look at it as a crabs in the barrel, or look at it from a crabs in the barrel mentality, even though you don't think that you're doing it. Don't look at it from that perspective. Look at it from the perspective of, oh, he's cool, I'm going to promote him. And do it without any kind of reservation. Do it without anything in return. Do it without expecting the same promotion and all of that. Listen, just do dope stuff. You know who else does dope stuff that just promotes people and highlights people without any kind of looking for anything back in return and stuff like that? Erica's Classy Climb. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to Erica's Classy Climb. She talks about money. She talks about real estate. She talks about business. She does all of that. She highlights and shout out people and, make sure that she gives acknowledgement and all of that other type of stuff. And she don't look for nothing in return and none of that. She getting hers just like everybody else is getting theirs. And people that do it without reservation usually are the ones that are the most successful and most blessed. So make sure y'all also shout out Erica's Classy Climb. And tell her that Anton is continuing to shout out. She has actually been on the show a couple times. I love Erica, so shout out to her also. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. So, Tiffany Cross. Tiff. Y'all know I love to give me some nicknames out here. We got Cam. That's Kamala Harris. I got Candy. That's my girl, Candace Owens. And we got Tiff. Now, one of the things that I'm wondering is if Tiff is just going to go away silently into the abyss. Go away silently into the abyss. And one of the reasons why I'm wondering that is because she was never really on my radar until after Kevin Samuels' passing. She had a lot to say, and she was speaking to black men specifically. And she was saying that you guys should not be following Tariq Nasheed and Kevin Samuels, and you need to align with black women in order to make sure that you come back over to the plantation, a Democratic plantation. I call it the plantation because, you know, they give you just enough to survive, but not enough to be able to break out on your own and do anything relevant. She said you need to align with black women, and Roland Martin, if I'm not mistaken, was on the show at that particular time. And they said that you need to align with black women and stop listening to these other guys like Tariq Nasheed and Kevin Samuels. And then it hit my radar, and I had found out that she had a show on MSNBC, and then we all know Roland Martin was on CNN. And Roland Martin, for all intents and purposes, well, we're going to get to Roland because Roland actually did a whole show on Tiff, right, and her firing. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. O'Shea Duke Jackson has done a couple different videos that I've seen in which he's broken down her firing, right? Tiff got fired from MSNBC. Now, one of the things that's interesting about her firing is that it's at will employment. So I don't really understand how people believe that you're not supposed to be subjected to the same standards and expectations as men, because as far as I know, they don't need any reason to let you go if you are not meeting whatever expectations that they have for you. Shout out to the CKJ3 says, happy Thanksgiving, big dog. Can I get a spot on the calendar for a coaching call? Yeah. CKJ, email me, Anton Daniels 413@gmail.com, and I'm going to get you scheduled, big dog. Email me at Anton Daniels, my name, 413@gmail.com. I'm sorry, Anton Daniels 413@gmail.com, and I'm going to make sure that I get you scheduled, big dog. Thank you for the 100 ball. I appreciate you, and thank you to everybody that continues to hold me down. You are more than welcome to be able to have a conversation, and we're going to get it in. So put on there whether or not you want to do a Zoom call or a personal call or a phone call, and then I'm going to put you in my calendar, and we're going to get it in, big dog. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that's holding me down in the chat today. I love you. I appreciate you, and happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you guys. But Tiff said this to men specifically.
Roland made a really legitimate point here. I will say, you know, a lot of black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down, particularly sometimes even by black.
Now, before we even, I'm going to play this whole clip, but you see Roly Poly down there on the bottom of the screen. You see him. You see him down there on the bottom of the screen. Somebody told me he was zesty. Somebody told me it was a picture of him being zesty. Do y'all know anything about that? Let me see. Somebody sent me a picture of him with two men in between at some gay event or some crap like that. Somebody said allegedly he's zesty. If y'all know anything about that, let me know. But let me rewind this. I want to play the whole video. And again, thank you to CKJ3. I appreciate you, big dog.
Roland made a really legitimate point here. I will say, you know, a lot of black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down, particularly sometimes even by black women in the media. So this is not that. But I do hear Roland's point that felt ignored. But you feel ignored, and then you go over to the other side. The oppressed feel oppressed. So then you go and try to align with the oppressor. So I'm not putting black men down, but sometimes it's like, well, some of you Kevin Samuels following Tariq Nasheed quoting people, please look at the truth and see what's happening and get in line with some of the black women. Is majority, like he said, vote Democrat. But that margin of people who can be plucked away from your people and go advance policies that harm your people, I just don't understand that.
Now, the question that we have to ask ourselves as we've watched that is what policies are helping people, and black people have been voting Democrat since they've been bamboozled and tied to government assistance and then broke up their families since the beginning of time. And what has that gotten you? More importantly, I did a whole show, I believe. I'm not really sure because there was a lot of people that I was executing at that particular time. I was going after Moise Watkins and the pastor and all of those other type of people. And so this is what she said a little over a month ago. I think it was a couple months ago. But this was the conversation that she was having, and she was petitioning men to get on board with black women as though they're our leaders and we're not their leaders. Get on board with black women and then make sure that you align yourself with the Democratic Party because you don't want to be over there with the Republicans who are your oppressors, not the people that actually help free the slaves, but your oppressors. Okay. All right, cool. Well, now we brings us over to here to Roland Martin. As I was looking for a picture to be able to do this show and talk about what was happening with Roland Martin, right? And his whole show. And we're going to go through it. I'm going to play it and I'm going to react to it and we're going to break it down. Roland Martin had more photos that was trying to show how fly and zesty he was than anybody that I've looked up in outside of August Alsina. I mean, he had the white linen on and all of that other type of stuff. But Roly, shout out to Roly Martin. He's a unique, interesting character, and I would consider him as a part of the old guard. The old guard, meaning the OGs that we actually don't need to listen to, that has led us into this burning fire, and continues to push us down this road that I don't think is actually conducive for what it is that we're trying to do as a people, as an individual, as men, as women, or as citizens of the United States of America. So I want to get into Roland Martin's video in which he discusses Tiffany Cross's firing. Now, again, I was watching O'Shea Dukes Jackson's reaction to the firing, and O'Shea was breaking down how her firing was as a result of egregious behavior, including but not limited to her overuse and overspending of continuing to go into luxury hotels to the tune of at least $100,000, staying at hotels that even executives wasn't staying in. So, do I feel sorry for Tiffany Cross? Absolutely not. But the question that we need to ask ourselves as we're going through Roland Martin's breakdown of what happened to Tiffany Cross, the question that we need to ask ourselves is this a black issue? Is this a feminist issue? Is this a liberal issue? Or none of the above? Let me say that one more time. Black, feminist, liberal, none of the above. Black, feminist, liberal, none of the above. Because we all know that when black people get fired, in a lot of instances, it ain't nobody else's fault, or it's not their fault, it's everybody else's fault. When black people get fired, it's not their fault, it's everybody else's fault. And so people start petitioning as though they own MSNBC to tell them who they should and shouldn't be on the platform. Don't worry about it. We're going to get into it. Let's break it down, ladies and gentlemen.
A group of African Americans released a letter today blasting MSNBC's decision to part ways with Tiffany Cross. This letter was, I was one of the folks who actually signed the letter as well, was released today publicly, and I want to read it for you. All right, folks, pull it up, please. The letter states, "Dear Miss Jones," this is addressed to Rashida Jones, African-American who is the president of MSNBC, the first African-American to be president of a news network. "We write to you on behalf of the Cross Connection viewing audience, which is made up of more than 35% of black Americans and other people of color who tune in every weekend."
First thing they do is they try to pull the race card. Dear Miss Jones, Miss Rashida Jones, who was the first African-American. So that means that your boss's boss that wind up firing you actually happen to look like you and they're of the same gender as you. And so we remove the whole idea of it being feminist. So we're going to cross that off the list. Remember, we said, is this a black issue? And a lady just so happened to be black. So we may cross that off too right away. But we said, is this a black issue? Is this a feminist issue? Is this a liberal issue? Or none of the above? She just wasn't cutting the mustard. And nobody actually cares enough to actually have Tiffany Cross coming on their TV. And we don't care if it was 35% black Americans that were tuning in every weekend. We want a bigger audience. We want you to stop staying at luxury hotels, and we want you to do your job. And maybe we just feel like we can do better without you. Who knows? Maybe you was talking tough and you didn't keep your mouth shut, and that's one of the reasons that you got fired. Aaron says she's towing the company line. Look how folks used to be on Fox, CNN, or MSNBC Talk. When they change between each network, they're just puppets. Lachonsky Jones says, "Happy holidays, fam and bag chasers. I'm glad you finally got to this video on these so-called B1 people who isn't into pushing the community forward but keeping us stagnant to a party stuck in a void. Facts. We just need to completely do away with the Democratic Party altogether. But that's not going to happen in my lifetime. But shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Lachinsky Jones. Shout out to everybody that continues to contribute to the platform and hold me down on this weekend. Let's continue.
Throughout her more than 20 years in media, Tiffany Cross has been a consistent light of truth. Her integrity is a hallmark of her career on which her steadfast audience has come to rely. Ms. Cross is a trusted communicator, friend, and validator to marginalized communities who too often find their voices and valuable perspectives missing from mainstream media. Nowhere was this more true than on her MSNBC show, The Cross Connection. Her authentic audience connection and intentional truth-telling made it MSNBC's highest-rated weekend show, becoming appointment viewing for a committed audience that made the show's topics and host trend weekly. That is why we are deeply disappointed in the abrupt cancellation of The Cross Connection and the unexpected ouster of its host, just 4 days before a critical midterm election. This decision was announced just 2 weeks after a targeted, racist, and misogynistic strike against both Ms. Cross's reporting and character from a known racist and anti-Semite, Fox News host Tucker Carlson. His intentional misrepresentation of her platform amounted to no less than a direct attack and should have...
Let's back that up really quickly. I don't want to just skip past that. That is why we are deeply disappointed in the abrupt cancellation of The Cross Connection and an unexpected ouster of its host just 4 days before a critical midterm election. This decision was announced just 2 weeks after a targeted, racist, and misogynistic strike against both Ms. Cross's reporting and character from a known racist and anti... Now, okay. Is Tucker Carlson a racist? Stop it. Stop it. Why is it that when people get fired or they don't necessarily agree with it, then they start to point at them and say, but he said this? Shout out to Black Heights, advancing your career. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. He says, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Would love to have you on the platform one day and discuss family and get into this money. You know I'm down. Black Heights, all you got to do is say the word or send the email and I'm there. Not even a question. All we got to do is align our calendars. Thank you for the $100 super chat. Hold me down. I appreciate you, big dog. You are absolutely positively one of the inspirations behind my life. I got my dog Charleston give me a call right now. I'm gonna have to put you on hold, Charleston. I gotta call you right after. Right after I get done live streaming, big dog. I'm gonna be right after. I'm gonna hit you right back, Charleston. I know you're watching the show. Shout out to Black Heights. I appreciate you for the 100 ball, my friend. Thank you for holding me down. I don't know what Fox News has to do with any of this. What does Fox News or Tucker Carlson have to do with Tiffany Cross getting fired? I don't understand that. Why does that have to do with, why is that relevant at all? I don't understand. Why is that relevant? What do Tucker Carlson, and let's be clear, Tiffany Cross is no Tucker Carlson in the ratings. I don't understand it. What does that have to do with anything? But let's finish reading. He says his intentional misrepresentation of her platform amounted to no less than a direct attack and should have, let's continue.
Weekly. That is why we are deeply disappointed in the abrupt cancellation. That's why the platform amounted to no less than a direct attack and should have engender immediate defense and support of Ms. Cross by her parent network. Instead, it appears that NBC Universal has allowed Fox News to dictate its hiring and unwarranted firing decisions. We cannot afford to be bullied by those who willingly and wantonly drag this country backwards. Given the undeniable rise of fascism and persistent threats to democracy we face in the current moment, NBC should be an unrelenting force for truth and a safe harbor for voices like Ms. Cross, as well as those with whom she shared her broad and popular platform. While other networks give voice to election deniers, Ms. Cross featured voting rights champions. Where other shows spread disinformation, The Cross Connection spotlighted justice. Where other outlets catered to the country's worst instincts, Ms. Cross elevated the discourse and taught audiences how to protect democracy. There's
Cap. Let me tell you what Tiffany Cross's show did. It divided men and women. It divided the country. It continued to trumpet this thing that we call the black agenda when it comes to dividing families, continuing to push you towards a quote unquote democracy that champions women and feminist agendas. And then it also continued to push you towards this old narrative that we only have to vote one way instead of being informed voters that can then decide for ourselves. And then listen. Let's just be clear here. It all comes back to the money. Don't nobody care about your victim Olympics. Nobody cares about your perspective. Nobody cares about how you feel. It is the ability to be able to get advertisers, run the numbers up. And I largely believe that a lot of these platforms are dying entities anyway. Actually, me and Kwame Kilpatrick talked about it, but that video will be released in the Patreon probably 3 days. Nobody cares. It is a competition. If Tucker Carlson's opinion of Tiffany Cross's platform swayed that much, it would have done one of two things. It would have, either promoted the platform because the very mention of her from Tucker Carlson actually does more to help her than to hurt her, or B, if he torpedoed her show as a result of just giving an opinion of it, then that means that she wasn't that much to even be relevant in the first place. And then B, you have to take into consideration that that's competition. You destroy the competition, especially when it comes to capitalism. We don't want to run in the victim Olympics. We only want you to compete. This has nothing to do with voter suppression or, black people or white people or any of the other kind of crap. Let me ask you a question. If the very person that you support just so happens to be black, but they leading you into a burning house, is that somebody that we should align with, or is that somebody that we should be divesting ourselves from? Because the only thing that I've ever heard Tiffany Cross go viral for is her saying that black men should get on the same board as black women, follow black women down this burning into the alcohol river, and stop listening to Kevin Samuels and Tariq Nasheed. But let's continue.
A persistent theme in the denigrating of black women's value and the silencing of black women's voices when they speak uncomfortable but necessary truths about the state of our society.
How can black women speak on behalf of black men in black society? They're supposed to be helpmeets. Sir Shah says, running around doing errands, but wanted to shout out Anton and the Bag Chasers. Happy Thanksgiving. Much love to you all. Thank you, Sir Shah. I appreciate you for the fireball.
This season is too grave a moment in American history to silence the voices of black women who, time and again, save America from itself. Tiffany Cross has long been one of those black women, and her voice is needed now more than ever. We believe you are clear about the dangers we are collectively facing and how reminiscent it is of this nation's dark past. We would like to meet with you before Friday, November 11th, 2022, to discuss a path forward that is restorative to the reputation and dignity of Miss Cross.
Who are you talking to, Willis? Harpo, who is this nigga? So wait a minute. You gonna demand to meet with me and you gonna bully me when you don't even really know why she got fired in the first place? What if this hoe was stealing paper clips? What if she was finessing? What if her budget is messed up? What if it doesn't even matter? Who you talking to? You would like to meet with me before when? Fam, you don't even know what my schedule look like. Who you talking to, fam? Yo, the one thing that you ain't gonna do is you never gonna tell me what to do with my own platform and what it is that I got going on. How you gonna tell me how to do my job better than me? Man, listen. It's not a true friend. It's not a true friend. A true friend would have told that hoe, listen, you're going to have to pick yourself up, figure out what it is that you don't do wrong. See, the first thing that if somebody say, yeah, man, they fired me, I can't believe it. I'm going to say, so what did you do? What happened? Why did you find yourself in that position in the first place? Who you piss off? See, we need to learn how to hold each other accountable before we start pointing fingers out the window. We got to look in the mirror. A true friend is going to hold you accountable, and I'm going to tell you why, because then it allows for you to be much more successful in the future. Come on now.
It was signed by Melody Campbell, Cliff Albright, Black Voters Matter Fund, Latasha Brown, Alicia Garza, Rashad Robinson, Derek Johnson of the NAACP,
We don't even know what the NAACP do anymore.
LaFonza Butler, Emily's List, Maurice Mitchell, Working Families Party, Tamika Mallory, Until Freedom, David Johns, the National Black Justice Coalition. It was by myself, Angela Rye, Impact Strategies, Jamel.
Oh, not Angela Rye. Jesus Christ.
Hill, Unbothered Network.
Not Jamil Hill.
Kerry Champion, Reverend Mark Thompson, Make It Plain, Bishop William Barber III, the Poor People's Campaign, Repairs of the Breach, Ben Crump, Reverend Dr. Iva Carruthers, Reverend Dr. Liz Theo Harris of the Poor People's Camp. First of all, Carruthers with the Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference, Reverend Liz Theo Harris, Cairo Center and the Poor People's Campaign, Savante Myrick, People for the American Way, Barbara Arnwine, Transformative Justice Coalition, Hillary Holly, Care in Action. Also, Ajeen Poo, National Domestic Workers Alliance, Kimberly Carter, there's silence. Also, Keith Oberman ripped Rachel Maddow, Chris Hayes, Lawrence O'Donnell for their silence after Tiffany was let go. Now, her contract is up in a month. They said it was her comments. Well, no, they haven't actually given an official reason.
So if they haven't given an official reason, what the fuck are y'all over here protesting for? If they haven't given an official reason, what are y'all protesting for? What are we missing? Hold on, wait. Her contract was up in a month. She probably still got paid through her contract. They probably was waiting to let this chick go in the first place. I'm not really understanding where the discrepancy is. You don't even know why she got let go, as though they have to give an explanation to you as to why she got let go in the first place. So if her contract never got renewed, was y'all going to protest on behalf of that also? What are we talking about? Her contract was about to be up in a month. And they haven't even, when he did this video, they hadn't even given a reason as to why they let her go, as though they need to present one in the first place. What are we talking about?
The sources that we've actually heard from that have been talking, MSNBC gave no statement. But what they did do is, after the letter was dropped, they did release a statement. Lori Ann Asio, Vice President of Communications for NBC News and MSNBC, gave this statement to the Griot that business decisions.
Oh, not the Griot. The Griot is, for all intents and purposes, I believe the Griot was owned by Byron Allen, which is the same guy to be suing his way to the top. Let me double check. Yep. Allen Media Group. The Griot is owned by Byron Allen. Byron fucking Allen. Yep. You can't make this up.
Like this happen all the time.
You can't make this up, man. The Griot was owned by Byron Allen, family.
We received a letter signed by several organizations. We are proud of our long history celebrating diversity on and off air at MSNBC and throughout the news group. This is an ongoing effort and will continue to elevate diverse perspectives and voices during this election season and beyond. And they're going to have a rotation of hosts on the Cross Connection until they finalize their programming. And let me just tell you, I was probably going.
Let me tell you something. They released a statement that basically said that in her firing, they're going to be replacing her with a rotation of hosts so that they can figure out who it is that they want on a permanent basis. They're probably going to be trying people out, seeing who sticks, and then this chick is going to be forgotten about in less than 6 months. Nobody is going to care about whether or not Tiffany Cross got fired anymore because they're going to be moving on to something else. Now here comes the speculation. Instead of leading with facts and truth, now here comes the speculation And how do we know that it's speculation? Because he led with, let me tell you what's probably going to happen.
Ended up happening. And so go ahead and write it down. MSNBC is paying Jen Psaki a whole bunch of money to come host a show there at MSNBC. Now remember, they got rid of Amin's show and Zerlina Maxwell's show on the Peacock channel, okay? Because they say
now this dude is pocket watching. He pocket watching with JT. Roland Martin ain't no political commentator no more. He pocket watching. He counting everybody else's bread instead of focusing on what it is that he got going on. Shout out to Hidden Pants. Hidden Pants says, what's the Allen Group? The Allen Group is largely led by Byron Allen. Byron Allen is the guy that owns the Weather Channel and continues to sue every single company, including McDonald's, General Motors, and so on and so forth, because he wants more advertising dollars to go to his dying platforms. Like anybody actually watches the Weather Channel, he wants more advertising dollars to go to his dying platforms, and he uses the black agenda in order to do so. So instead of competing for advertising dollars by getting his platforms more in the view of the of whoever it is that they're trying to reach as far as their target audience, he just sues and then he gets his payouts or his settlements. I believe that at some point, and don't quote me on this, he allegedly sued all of the cable companies, and he does what he does. So Byron Allen is leaning on the blackity black narrative, but he has a whitey wife. I don't even know how y'all, hold on. I don't know how y'all consider yourselves pro-black. His wife's name is Jennifer Lucas, and this is her. How? Y'all lying yourself. No, his wife is actually white. And it's not even close. It's white. His wife is white. I don't know what y'all talking about. His wife is white. That's a fact. So I don't even know how y'all determine who's what. Look, he taking care of the baby, all of that. He got a whole conglomerate over here. See that? All of them kids look the exact same. And she ain't cheating on him. And she not cheating on him. Look like the Addams family, if you ask me. Neither here nor there. Let's get back to the show. I'm not going to stick on Byron Allen. He a dangerous man to deal with.
Money, they're giving Rachel Maddow $30 million to host a show once a week, all right? To keep it from going to Sirius XM or CNN.
Why is he pocket watching? And they giving Rachel Maddow $30 million to host a show one week. What is he mad about? You mad or no? Is this The Butler? I don't know if y'all ever seen The Butler, but Forrest Whitaker kept going into the office to ask for a raise because the white help make at least 40% more than the black help. And he told him, listen, get your ass to work or either find another job. I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. Are you The Butler? Are you Forrest Whitaker? Are you married to Oprah and The Butler? Which I thought she did a phenomenal job acting, by the way.
Somewhere else. So here's what's going to happen.
And he walked. How many times have you washed that T-shirt before he got on here? This dude is a real life African-American penguin. Listen, I'm working so hard in the gym. I'm on my 9th day straight. This guy is a real life African-American penguin. And got that washed out shirt that probably got Gildan in the back of it. Let me stop getting on the personal attacks. They like the personal attacks, so, I just punch back.
They're going to probably move Jen Psaki into Jonathan Capehart's slot on Sunday morning. They're probably going to move Jonathan Capehart into Tiffany's slot on Saturday. Watch it happen. Write it down. It's going to happen. Okay. That's what you're actually dealing with there. But really what you're dealing with here, and this is what I keep telling y'all about mainstream media. I spent 6 years at CNN. And when people come up to me like, man, I wish you go back to mainstream media, I said, let me explain something to you. The only person who can fire Roland Martin is God.
Now, let me ask y'all a question. 1 second. Let me ask y'all a question. Who is going up to Roland Martin and saying that I wish you would go back to mainstream media? Who? Hoppo. Who? Who is going up to Roland Martin? Honestly, I'm genuinely curious. How many people is walking up to Roland Martin and the first thing that they saying is, man, I wish you would go back to mainstream media? How many people is walking up to Roland Martin and saying, hey, Penguin? He could have literally played the Penguin in the new Batman. Hey, Penguin, I wish you would go back to mainstream media. Hoppo, who is this nigga? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You tried it. You did it for 6 years. You never caught fire and you failed. And let's be clear. He keeps saying the only person that can fire Roland Martin is Roland Martin. No. Listen, YouTube can cancel his show tomorrow and it will be no more Roland Martin. These people be thinking that they got more power than they really do. I'm realistic. I understand that the people is also, even if you own your own business, the people are your boss. Because without the people, there is no you.
That's the hierarchy here. I'm the CEO, I'm the owner.
Did you see his eyes? Check it out, y'all. Y'all got to look at the nuances. Check it out. Watch this.
That's the hierarchy here. I'm the CEO, I'm the owner.
Boy, if I wasn't on this lifestyle change regimen, I would go and get me some rap snacks. This is the foolish. This ain't nothing but foolishness. Is this y'all king? Is this who y'all following? Is this y'all king? Honestly, I'm on a Thanksgiving, November 24th. I know these blackity blacks don't even like to acknowledge Thanksgiving. They call it Indigenous Peoples Day or some shit. Is this y'all king? Is this who y'all got? Man, I wish I was able to debate Roland Martin. Roland Martin might be my new Boyce Watkins. Jesus Christ.
God is the only person above me. When you work in that environment, ratings don't matter. They will fire you if they want to. They would
cap. Ratings, listen, numbers matter. I don't care what industry you in. I don't care if you on YouTube. I don't care if you on MSNBC. Listen, they called for the firing of Tucker Carlson, and Fox was like, yeah, that's nice. A couple of advertisers was like, yeah, we're going to pull out. Fox was like, we'll replace your spot. Numbers matter. Numbers always matter. Don't let anybody lie to you and tell you that numbers don't matter.
choose not to resign you if they choose to. And that's what happened here. And so I said this, and I tweeted this. Rashida Jones, who I know, the president, must speak to this issue why Tiffany Cross was not given a new contract and continued hosting her show. Her boss, Cesar Conde, over NBC, must speak to this. His boss, Jeff Shale, who's over all of NBC Universal, must speak to this. They all must speak to it. And black folks, this is real simple. You got to make a decision. Or are you going to keep watching? What do you hear when Jeff Carr in our promotion, when he says, you need to bring your eyeballs home to Roland Martin Unfiltered and the Black Star Network? The reality is this here. We are the most loyal audience they have. Black folks represent, we watch MSNBC.
He don't even know how to say it. Let me tell you what's going on. Let me tell you what's going to really happen. I want y'all to hear me loud and clear. Black folk is going to continue to watch what black folk continue to watch. I'm under no disillusion that anybody is going to do anything different just because Tiffany Cross got fired. As a matter of fact, he's not even advocating for her firing. He's saying that she needs to get a contract renewal, and he's demanding that they're going to have to answer for this. According to who? Who? What are you talking about? I'm under no illusion that anybody is going to do anything based off of what it is that I say or how I feel. I went about going ahead and selling all of my Nikes. All of them. I'm walking around with my Omi and the Hellcats on right now. You don't believe me? You don't believe I got my Omis on. I got my Omis on right now. Do I expect anybody to do anything differently just because I'm doing it? No, it is a personal decision. People are going to do what they want, and just because you're doing it does not mean that anybody else is going to do anything differently. As a matter of fact, the black community is notoriously loyal to whatever it is that makes them feel good, not what you advocate for. Whatever makes them feel good, not what you advocate for. And so I'm going to make my own personal decision, and that's the way that I live my life. But nobody is not going to not watch MSNBC because Tiffany Cross ain't there and because you didn't give her a new contract. Don't nobody care. Nobody cares. I'm just telling you the truth. Shout out to Aaron. Aaron says, remember when India Ari tried to cancel Joe Rogan and Spotify told her, bye-bye. Have a nice day. You can remove your stuff from Spotify if you want to. No more checks for you. Have a nice day. I do what I want. Listen, I'm going to do the thing that means the most to me, and then I'll talk about it and I'll document my life. And then you're going to do the thing that means the most to you. You probably still got on your ones, your J's, or whatever like that. And that's cool. I'm not telling you what to do. I just do what I'm going to do. But ain't nobody going to answer for no Tiffany Cross. Stop it. Stop the cap.
More than anybody else. So we should be saying, this how y'all going to do a truth teller? And here's the other question.
So did she apologize to black men for talking shit about Kevin Samuels and Tariq Nasheed? Penguin? Let me let a little bit of this play. I want to see what he got to say.
You hired Tiffany Cross for her opinion. So you getting rid of her because of her opinion? Oh,
Conjecture.
You didn't realize she was a truth teller?
Conjecture. This is all of something. This is what black women do. This is not what men are supposed to do. Men are not supposed to make assumptions. Men are supposed to lead with facts. So then when they come back, and they came back 2 weeks later, and there was more information that was provided as far as why it was that they didn't renew Tiffany Cross's contract, I don't see him coming back to the front of the congregation and saying, my bad, I was wrong. No, they're going to continue to lead into this, and it's not going to be conducive for the people that they actually think that they're helping. They're actually hurting them. They're actually hurting them. And whose truth teller is she? Because the truth is the truth. It ain't your truth. It ain't her truth. It ain't his truth. It ain't my truth. It's the truth. What truth? Okay.
When she was trying out? So you gave her a show? Explain that. Explain why would you hire somebody to be an opinion host, but then, well, we don't like it. And keep in mind, I've already heard people say, well, she made that comment, she made the comment on Charlamagne's show about Florida and used the word dick. Mark Halperin called Obama that on Morning Joe and got suspended. He was back on the air. The only reason he got fired was because of his Me Too problems.
What are we talking about, ladies and gentlemen? What are we talking about here? They don't want her. Why would she want to exist in an environment where they're not interested in her services any longer? They're not interested in her services. I don't really understand. This is why you can't give black people nothing. You give them an inch, they're going to want to take over the whole network. You give them an inch, they're going to have to want to take over the whole network. That's why Fox, they say, you know what? We just going to stick with our white correspondents. We just going to stick with our white, because they don't complain. They get their checks. They do what they do. They shut the fuck up, and they don't complain when they get fired. They just either go and retire or they go and get another job. White people don't, they just be like, I got canned. I shouldn't have said that. Black people be like, give us free. Give us free. Free school lunches. Free handouts. Free jobs. Give us free. Shout out to Brock. Brock says, pass the love offering. Man, I'm not going to continue to advocate on behalf of these women that's advocating against the men.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mark Halperin was a white guy who was a favorite of Joe and Mika. Tiffany Cross was never a favorite of Joe and Mika. You never saw her on that show, did you? Which is sort of weird because if you had a high-rated show on the weekends, why wouldn't you have them on the morning show? That's the question. And also, you got to be asking the question, why did Jelena Maxwell's show get canceled? Was it because of ratings? Did they ever tell her it was because of ratings? Those are some questions that should be answered. And let's see if MSNBC schedules that meeting. I'll let my panel weigh in. Juliana, you first about the decision by MSNBC to part ways with Tiffany Cross.
Well, they're absolutely wrong. Tiffany is a truth teller. And I didn't find her comments offensive at all. I found them actually quite amusing. One time she said something, I said, shoot, I wish I had said that. She's a smart sister who is having a good show. But, you know, black women take the brunt of so much.
Oh, man. First it was a race issue. Now it's a one. We're going to have to remember when we first started this live stream, I asked y'all, pick between the four. Is it a black issue, a feminist issue, a liberal issue, or none of the above? It looks like the black people on this panel, and you can always spot a woman that's a feminist. I can spot a woman that's a feminist immediately. She got all of the signs. Got the buzz cut, older, probably single, got the bejewels around her neck, and then got the multicolored glasses. That is the older feminist starter pack. This is the older feminist starter pack that you see happening right here. Low hair, older, bejeweled, different color glasses. I swear to God, this is the older woman feminist starter pack. I swear to God, this is it. Cut my hair low so I don't have to do any maintenance. I dare a motherfucker to say something. Get you some beady beads around your neck. I'm telling you, this is the starter pack. Shout out to my wife texting me during the thing talking about Apple Care. Knowing I'm live streaming.
And the Mark Halperin example is a great one, but there are many other examples of white boys who can get away with just about anything, except for in this Me Too era, putting their hands on a woman, but they can get away with almost anything else. They can say anything, and it's only when black women step out there, and more so black women than black men, we step out there, suddenly we're under a microscope. As you said, she was hired for her opinion, and she's worked very hard over the course of her career to get to where she is. I'm sure she'll shine somewhere else, but MSNBC needs to be shamed. And Roland, maybe we should start talking about boycott.
Who is we? As a matter of fact, with your feminist talking points, I'm thinking about starting to watch MSNBC a little bit more now. I'm thinking about tuning into the weekend slot that Tiffany Cross was on just to show. I'm not even going to watch it. I'm just going to leave my TV on. Somebody send me the time slot in the day that Tiffany Cross was on. I might just leave all of my TVs on in all of my houses and in my content creation space when I get my TVs delivered. I might just leave the TVs on, program them to cut on and cut off. I think we got smart TVs. We should be able to do that. Program them to cut on and cut off during the time that Tiffany Cross was scheduled to come on MSNBC. Oh, let's see what the rest of these cornballs got to say.
Maybe that's what we should be doing.
The reason I said this beforehand, the reason you did not hear me say that word is because I followed the model of Operation Breadbasket. Boycott was the last thing that they did because they had to do education up front. One of the biggest mistakes that we make is that we throw boycott out first. My deal is, let's educate our people, enlighten our people. They met with them, and then if the answer wasn't satisfactory, they got back, then they went to the next step. And so the worst thing in the world, that's why you will rarely
I'm going to be honest with you. This guy in the lower right-hand corner, the way he was just sitting, I have not watched this video. Let me move myself over here. I'm telling you, this guy might be zesty. Let me watch this. Shout out to Philip Sadiq. Philip Sadiq says, Anton, you are using too much logic. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate you. And thank you for always holding me down, my friend. Thank you, Philip. Look at this guy in the lower right hand corner.
Say that word.
Watch how you move.
It's because I follow the model of Operation Breadbasket. Boycott was the last thing that they did because they had to do education up front. One of the biggest mistakes that we
He may not be. Hold on, let me see.
Make is that we throw boycott out first. My deal is let's educate our people, enlighten our people. They met with them, and then if the answer wasn't satisfactory, they got back, then they went to the next step.
Actually, Roland might be the zesty one. There might be two zesties and two femmes up on here. Let me see something.
And so the worst thing in the world, that's why you will.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I hope he goes to him first. Go to him before you go to the other feminists. Let's see what we talking about.
Rarely ever hear me say it. I don't throw that out there because if we have.
That dude said, we'll see. We gonna see.
Not prime position our people here to understand what the issue is, then a boycott actually fails. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. Renita.
No, he didn't.
Well, I hope that my comments will help with some of that education because we need to quickly get to the part where we boycott. Here's what I've always noticed about.
See, listen, Rolly, she don't respect you. What does she do? Let me see. What does she do? She's a state. This person is a state representative. Oh, shook it now. She's a part of our legislative branches. Part of our legislative branches. Let's see. Listen, he did all of this Operation Breadbasket. You know, whatever the operation is that he got set out, the name of it is going to be something that you can eat. Operation Breadbasket. Well, Roland Martin, what other operations have you executed on? Operation Pudding Pop. What other operation did you do? Operation Potato Chips. Okay, Roland, you got to give me one more. Operation Fudge and Cherry Sickle Ice Cream. Operation Breadbasket. Operation Corned Beef Sandwich. Oh, they said, careful, Anton. He might hit you with his purse. Oh, all right. It's Thanksgiving. We got to get back to the show.
MSNBC. This is a left-leaning network, yet most of the people that they have hosting the various shows are not Black people who are the base of the Democratic Party. They've got Joe and Mika with a 2-hour show every day.
No, baby. After battle, that got bumped to 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, so
they were 3 hours. Now they 4.
Okay, but you still got Joe and Mika, a Republican. He says he's left the party, but we also remember when he got caught helping Trump to get elected. And then you've got Nicole Wallace, who has a 2-hour show. Meanwhile, you've got brilliant people on MSNBC who've never been given an entire show, like Jason Johnson. And so MSNBC, they do things that you would never see Fox do, which is, number one, elevate what is supposed to be the opposite of what the network is about. You never see Fox bringing up a whole bunch of Democrats to have 2- and 3-hour shows.
So everybody on this show is biased. Everybody on this show is liberal. And I asked this question before we ever watch this clip. Shout out to Aaron. He says Roland ate all of the bread out of the basket. Silent Sniper says, happy Thanksgiving to you and the family. I'm not driving today. So thanks for the live stream during my Uber ride. I got you, Silent Sniper. We going to be cooking today. We cook every day of the week, except for some days. We cook pretty much every day of the week. So shout out to Silent Sniper. I can't stand these feminists. I really can't. It is a headache. It is like ringing in my ears. I can't stand these liberal feminists. And she almost got on the starter pack, but she getting there. She ain't quite aged out to the old lady starter pack, but she getting there.
And they don't really, most of the hosts do not represent the people who actually vote for Democrats. This is a problem that MSNBC should be taken seriously, because many people, especially generation, the millennials and generation Z, I believe it is, they've done a lot of cord cutting. Most people don't even pay for cable anymore. Yes, you can watch MSNBC on the apps, but the point is mainstream media has taken a hit over the years, and it continues to take a hit because people can look at things that resonate with them more, like Roland Martin. They can look at things online that resonate with them more. And so they really can't afford to be not catering to the people who are actually keeping their eyeballs on MSNBC.
Jay.
So you know how to run a network more effectively than MSNBC. Interesting. I find that interesting. A. B. I thought that the news was supposed to report the news. I didn't know that we had to advocate for the news to be biased. One of the reasons why the news is so trash is because the news has become an indoctrination camp. We don't need more programming that pushes an agenda. We just need people to tell the facts and then give their opinion on specific shows. The news was never supposed to be this, which is one of the problems that we have in society today. But let's continue.
Well, the one thing I'll say about Jen Psaki is whatever it is, I've seen her on television when she's not at the podium and answering questions, when she's literally in a box the way we are right now, and whatever it is, she doesn't have it. So if she's going to host a show, that show's going to bomb. I'll put it right now. I'll put money on it. It's not going to work. She just doesn't have the charisma in that kind of a setting. So she's not the one to host a show. I think there are other people that may take that spot. But one of the things we have to know about MSNBC is that they've always ghettoized their black talent onto weekends.
What is he talking about? I thought this was about Tiffany Cross getting fired. Shout out to Raheem Ali says, Sarate on the pity side. Stay up big time. Hey, ain't that Pootie Tang? Sarate on the pity side. Y'all ain't know I knew about Pootie Tang, did y'all? Sarate. I think that this dude is zesty. All of this is just emotion. All of this is just emotion. None of this is actually substantiating their argument based off of facts. It's all just emotion. That one ain't gonna do that good. And I'm tired of it being ghetto.
It just so happened that they put Joy Reid on into prime time. But for how long was she basically their best talent, and she was put onto weekends? They had Reverend Al on the weekends. They put all of the black people on the weekends.
Actually, no, I got to correct you. Remember, Reverend Sharpton had a daily show, 6 p.m. Joy had an afternoon show. Her afternoon show with Alex Wagner got canceled. Then when they had the tiff with Melissa Harris Perry, so Joy had a weekend show. She went to a daily show in the afternoon, and then she went from the daily show in the afternoon back to the weekends, and then from the weekends to prime time. Sharpton had a daily 6 p.m. show that got canceled. Then he got moved to the weekends.
Why are we still listening to Al fucking Sharpton? Y'all can't find no new talent? Al Sharpton? And Zesty and Pink. I'm sorry. Zesty and Salmon. When y'all go to the restaurant, I don't want y'all ordering salmon. That's not how you say it. You gotta order salmon. The L is silent. The L is silent. It's salmon, not salmon either. He's in salmon pink. And he didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about. Nobody prepped him. He didn't do any research. They just show, hey, fam, we need a fourth in order to balance out this feminism and this liberalism. We need you to jump on the panel when he just started stuttering, talking, didn't know what he was talking about, and he's zesty. All right, let's continue.
And then Tamron Hall had a morning show. Craig Melvin had a show that was a midday show. She, of course, left. Craig got promoted on the Today Show. And so now the only person, only African-American you see in the daily rotation is Joy's show at 7 p.m. Go ahead.
Okay, so I stand corrected. I remember when I would watch, it seemed like I saw Melissa Harris Perry, Reverend Sharpton, and Joy would be on weekends. But again, I don't watch a ton of MSNBC, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who do. I really hope that.
So you don't know what the fuck is going on, so why are you on the panel? Shout out to Silent Schreiber. Says, used to watch his show when he had both Republican and Democrat guests, but now it's just all left all the time. So this guy don't know what he's talking about. He literally has no clue what's going on. Who is this guy? They didn't even put his name up. He just a guess. He literally is just a guess and salmon. And he couldn't even get no good camera work. This dude is filming on an iPhone 4, giving his opinion on things that he know not of. He don't even know who's on the show no more. And he just admitted to not even knowing nothing. What do you do? What kind of show is this?
They fixed this situation. I had high hopes for the fact that they had an African-American who was their president. And I hope it works out for Tiffany Cross, because I actually enjoyed her show. I watched her show where you were on a few times. And
Whose show? Whose show?
Tiffany Cross.
Right, yeah. I thought you said Joy. I've never ever done Joy Reid's show. I've been on Tiffany's show, but I've never ever been on Joy and Reid's show. Her weekend show, her weekend show, or her daily show. Right. And I've done Sharpton's show one time. But go ahead.
Yeah. I've never done any of those shows. I was on Craig Melvin one time, but I have seen you on Tiffany's show, and the fact that she actually had African Americans and African American men and talking about the issue of African American men voting, and particularly in Georgia, I thought was really important. It followed my article in Newsweek. So I was really excited about that and seeing you on that panel and talking about.
That was a show in which she highlighted and talked about how black men needed to divest themselves against the talking points of Tariq Nasheed and Kevin Samuels. That is specific. Let me tell you something. Shout out to Stan. All he talked about was the viral clip. He has not actually supported or watched any of Tiffany Cross's content. All he did was watch the same fucking clip as we did. He is about as informed about what goes on over at MSNBC as I am, in which I know nothing. The only thing I know about MSNBC is that when you used to open up Internet Explorer, it was the first thing unless you changed the homepage. Unless you change the homepage settings, MSNBC used to be the first thing that popped up when you open up the old Internet Explorer. Not Edge, the old Internet Explorer. That's all I know about MSNBC until Tiffany Cross said some egregious shit in which we had to address that accordingly.
That issue, I thought she did a lot of really good content, and I hope that she bounces back. I don't know where she's going to bounce back. There's really, it seems like in terms of liberal networks right now, it's only MSNBC in terms of the major networks.
Yep.
But I hope she starts something on her own the way you did, and gains the traction and gets the eyeballs that she deserves, and people bring their eyeballs home to her whenever she starts her thing.
Well, again, the thing that I want people to understand is that, and I really hope people, let me be clear, I support folks who work in mainstream media. I've been a 3-time board member of the National Association of Black Journalists. We've fought for those jobs. But this is also why we have to have independent black-owned media to be able to cover the issues that we care about, where we're not being beholden to somebody else who are making those decisions.
Let me be objective really quickly, okay, guys? Just objectively, let me give you a little bit of advice. You don't wait until something happens to you before you start to mine out and put together a platform and this is just in anything. This is just career advice for you, okay? I don't care if you're a political correspondent. I don't care if you work at Ford Chrysler or GM. I don't care what you do. You don't wait until something happens to you before you go about doing the thing that actually adds the most value for you long term. You should already be building. You should already be doing great things. You should already be putting stuff together. If you don't think that I've always had 7 irons in the fire, regardless of what happens over here after my 2008 debacle, which I was largely dependent on a job, then in 2008 happened and there wasn't no money nowhere for nobody, you crazy. It don't matter what happened. It don't matter if I lose my job, all of the content creation go away. I still got my businesses. I still got my real estate. I got everything. I've done, listen, let me tell you to the extent to where I've already diversified myself as far as all of the different multiple streams of income. All of my channels is on completely separate, independent, they're on their own profiles. And I learned from that. When one network went down, when my channel had went down, when the Anton Daniels channel went down, it had affected what we had going on over here at the Millionaire Morning Show. Everything is its own separate entity. Fight Club is its own thing. The Lapeef Network is its own thing. J.R. Lapeef is its own thing. Anton Daniels is its own thing. Millionaire Morning Show is its own thing. Everything is its own entity. If you're waiting on something to happen to you before you go about separating yourselves and doing the things that's the best for you, you are going to be in a world of trouble because it only takes one situation or one time before you out on your butt and then you won't get no contract renewal, and that's the end of the conversation. If all of this went away today, I'd still be making almost $1 million a year on my corporate position. It doesn't matter. I don't have any bills. I don't have any expenses. I don't have anything, any personal expenses. Everything is associated with the business itself. You have to make strong strategic decisions on how it is that you're going to move going forward, as though the worst case scenario could pop off. And you always going to be straight. You always going to be taken care of and everything is going to be set. That's just me being objective. That's the only good thing that I got out of this situation. But let's continue.
That's why I started the Black Star Network. That's why we have 5 shows. That's why we have 3 shows in development. This is why when I talk about you supporting us with your resources, it matters. Because here's the deal. You right now, if you got cable, you are sending, let me be just real clear with y'all. Because see, again, folk don't even understand this, Julian, Renita, and Jason. A lot of y'all who have got cable news right now, you are spending more money per month on Fox News than you are on this show. The cable fees that Fox News gets is what funds them, along with advertising. So if you have cable, you're actually funding Fox News. You're funding Newsmax.
Now he's calling for people to cut the cord. Man, you about 7 years too late, big dog. You 7 years too late. You talking about doing shows in development, bro. We already got the Patreon. Shout out to all of my bag chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We already building our content library like fucking Netflix. He talking about we got 5 shows in development. Making a Lapeef network. We so ahead of the curve. Man, let's continue.
You were funding One American News when it was on AT&T and Verizon. Fios.
He is pocket watching, ain't he?
You might want to understand the business of the business.
We understand the business, sir. Thank you. I largely believe that you started your own thing because you couldn't get hired on anywhere else, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't know for sure.
Fox News is the most profitable cable news network.
Which is why they do what they do. Because they understand the business side of it, which was one of the things you didn't understand when you worked 6 years at CNN, and why y'all also don't understand why it was important for Tiffany Cross to be out of there. You got to get her up out of there. She's not adding any value. She's not bringing in any more viewers. Her ratings is probably going down. She alienated black men, except for the Zesties, and that's it.
And they get paid a monthly fee. Every cable bill You're paying, if you have cable, you are sending money to Fox News.
Facts.
Every single month.
He's right about that.
Just so you understand.
And they get the advertising dollars.
And the same with MSNBC. And the same with CNN. So you literally are funding these networks.
Look.
And so when we're complaining about...
They're not cutting the cord. Listen, the only reason they would cut the cord is if they need to save some money because there's a recession out here.
What they do, we're funding them. Just so you're aware.
All right, folks, back to our goal. All right, I think that's all that we need. What the? Okay, let's see. Hey, Rita, I'm live right now. What's going on?
Oh, I'm sorry. Nothing. I'll call you back later, bye.
Shout out to Rita. Anyways, listen, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Hopefully you found some jewels and some good things that's out of this whole situation. We're going to continue to do the work. Right back at it tomorrow morning. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. If you have not already, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Within the next 2 hours, I'll release the new Charleston White interview that nobody has even got a clip for yet. I love you. I appreciate you. I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, family. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in on the Millionaire Morning Show. We right back at it tomorrow. I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.